Alrighty, people. What is happening? How we living? How we feeling?
Yeah.
We've got a great stream for you guys today. Our last stream of the week, and it's going to be completely dedicated to improving your Dynasty teams. So it's going to be a great night. We've got already 2 live reviews in the queue, but we do have room for a couple more same-day reviews. I mean, I'd say we have room for like at least 4 if you guys are out there and you want to submit a same-day review, have it reviewed on the stream. That is definitely doable today with the way the queue is looking. Appreciate all y'all for all being here with us as well. What's up, Albert in the building? JC says, for reference, I'm Caveman Doc, and we do see your review, JC. So yours is going to get done
Awesome.
today as well. What's up, Charlie? What's up, Bolo? We in the building. Booty Clap King is here, clapping booties every time he's on the stream. What's up,
happening?
Scribbles? Wyatt's in the building. Wyatt says, did you guys and TD come up with the 3-way trade? 3-ways are so complicated, man. They're just too complicated. Yeah. The
More the merrier, they say. You know,
it's just impossible to make everybody happy. And both
more the
ways.
merrier, they say.
Yeah. So no, we didn't. And TD's gonna take his time and figure out what's best for him, I'm sure. What's up, Styles?
Nah, but
How
what's
you
happening,
doing,
yeah.
brother? Appreciate you for being here. Last stream of the day, our last stream of the week. Let's make it a good one. And what's up, JCM in the building? TD is here, by the way. You love to see it.
I wonder
All
if
right.
we get really random, but I'm just wondering if we get the Discord Nitro, just so like my quality image can be just as good as yours.
Does that improve your image? I didn't know that.
Well, since you're capturing it, you can only capture at 720. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
That's why my image is not as good.
How do we
Anyways.
do Nitro?
I think we have to pay for it. I could be wrong. I don't want to pay for something and then I guess we can always get a refund. But
Yeah. Okay. Does Discord Nitro let you stream at a higher resolution? Does anybody know this? What's up, Dylan in the building? Dale is here.
yeah,
What's up, Dale? Okay, it says yes. Discord Nitro allows
Fuck you,
users to
Dale.
stream at a higher resolution, including 1080p and even 4K. Okay. Well, we can absolutely do that.
I wonder if that works. But
How much is
we'll have to do
Discord
that.
Nitro?
I'm not necessarily sure. I wonder if we can do that. It doesn't have to be now. I was just thinking out loud before I forget about
per
it.
month for what?
Let me jump right in.
Okay. What are you getting $10 a month for? That's crazy. All right. We appreciate y'all for being here with us. Do us a favor, smash that like button. Got a goal on today's stream. Gotta of 50 likes, and with your help, I know we can get there. We have 4 open spots for a same day review. So if you're out there and you want to get your live review done on this very stream, we've got 4 spots for today. But we are going to be reviewing, no doubt about it, Bory's, as well as, and you can't see this down below, but Caveman Doc. Those are both going to be reviewed today. Corey's is currently an offline review. Patman's was an offline review that we did earlier today. So those are the only reviews that are currently in the wings. Got 4 free spots. If you want to get your team playbook, which is a customized game plan for your offseason, we'll tell you what to do with your team, customized trade targets, what to do with your draft capital. Then you can become a LAND, L-A-N-D is a promo code, annual Mother Flocker member on the Flock site. That will give you a voucher which you can use in the Flock store to get a team review, team playbook from us. The offline version becomes completely free. The live version just becomes a $7 extra to upgrade. I know it says 10, but it's actually 7. And if you are thinking about becoming a member, there are more perks than just the team playbook, right? You get the team playbook. You also get our rookie report, which constantly updates. Right now, that rookie report has almost 12,000 views from the community, which has been awesome to see. You get a free trade question voucher, so when you finish your team review, you can come back for free and ask a trade question. You unlock our complete rankings, premium tools, databases. You can support Badaki and myself on the channel. You unlock our Discord. I mean, maybe if we get a couple people to sign up today, that will cover Nitro. Who knows? And we can just say, you know what, F it, let's get Nitro.
Please, I need Nitro non-jokes.
But yes, that rookie report is up there. It's beautiful, and it's updated to version 3. Can't wait for version 4. And obviously, you get all the other databases and rankings and tools on the website as well. And by the way, if you're a member on a different promo code, let's say you're using promo code FLOCK, you can still get a team review from us. You go through that same process through the store, that top right button there, that store, but you just wouldn't have a voucher when you complete it, right? You have to go through Fantasyland, obviously, but you just wouldn't have a voucher when you go through checkout. So let's go to Bory first here. Kev says he loves a trim, by the way. Kev called it a trim.
Kev's called it
Earlier,
a trim.
you know, about a week ago, we debated whether it was a trim or a chop, and Kev's in here saying it's a trim, so I don't know.
I think maybe Kev was in the last stream just trying to, pull a couple, poke the bear a little bit,
What's up, Brizzleton in the building? What's up, man? He says, at the bar, I just tuned in to drop a like. You're awesome, man.
No, that's huge. Come on.
What are you
Have
drinking?
another one for me.
What's up, Steven? What's up, Steel Mob? I love it. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get to this first review, which is Bory here. He says, just like last time, this is just after a startup since I'm just getting into Dynasty and looking for any tips for the team. It is a 2-quarterback, 12-team, start 10 PPR, and there's a 0.5 premium, so this is the middle ground as a starting lineup. There is a tight end premium as well, which is great. His team name is Howdy Neighbors, and you can tell this is a startup for sure because it's very even across the board with these teams, right? The 10th team is not that far back in points compared to the first overall team. And that's how you can typically tell that it is a startup. He is currently ranked 2nd, and go ahead and take this away for us if you want.
Yeah, we'll have a look at this. I'm not sure if you said it, but this is middle ground, start 10. Super flex, but let's have a look. Jalen Hurts, Drake May, Derek Carr, phenomenal quarterback room so far. At the running back position, Josh Jacobs, Chase Brown, downtown, J.K. Dobbins, and the list goes on there. At the wide receiver position, you can start up to 5 wide receivers. Malik Neighbors, Jameson Williams, Shakir, Michael Pittman, Deontay Johnson are your starting 5. So the wide receiver position is pretty weak. With TJ Hawkinson in the wing, you do have the 112, the 201, and the 206, and you have your 26 first. Okay.
Let's put Jameis Winston outside and see what happens.
Let's put Jameis.
Let's just
Winston
let him
outside.
Cook outside and just see what happens.
Let him cook at MetLife Stadium every Sunday night for the New York Football Giants. Something special is gonna happen, huh?
I love it.
Nah, but we got
I'm believing for something special enough to put you guys outside of the Arch Manning sweepstakes.
And maybe that's the case, or maybe not.
All right, so right now his starting lineup looks like Hurts, May, Jacobs, Chase, Neighbors, Jameson, Hawkinson, Shakir, and then we still need to start 2 more names. We're not really sure where those 2 names are going to come from, right? Pittman could be a startable name. But outside of maybe you throw Douglas in there, I don't know. Outside of that, you're really relying on these draft picks to give you some flexibility at that flex position. As far as the waiver wire,
let's have a look here. I mean,
I feel like I'd rather have Michael Wilson than Rondale Moore.
Yeah, look, I would pick up Michael Wilson. It's not exciting, but I would just pick up Darius Slayton now with that moon ball with Russell Wilson. It's not exciting.
Yeah.
I would would rather have. I'll wait and see what that looks like for the first couple weeks and then drop him.
Pretty good team straight off a startup though. You've done well. I'm curious how late you got Chase Brown. I imagine your first pick was Hurts. Actually, how did you get Hurts and Neighbors?
I would think it's probably Malik and then Hurts.
You think Jalen fell? Jalen was never outside that top 6, right?
Unless he traded up.
He has his 26th first-round pick.
He actually could have traded though. Like he could have gave up picks. Maybe he traded a 4th-round pick, a 5th-round pick to move up or something like that.
That could make sense because the depth is pretty shot at wide receiver. I don't know. Maybe.
Falls off. It falls off significantly.
Yeah.
So that makes sense actually.
All right, well, it's a decent team coming off a startup. I'm going to probably say like a B flat, B minus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wyatt, send it through, brother. Send it through. Is TD still on the stream?
TD's always here, man. Come on. He's always there in the background, chilling, hanging
He's
out.
lurking in the shadows, like Batman. Okay. So, yeah, I said B minus. I'm kind of in that range. To me, as far as the team pathway for a team like this, draft capital, I would probably put at a B minus as well.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, my instant thought for this pathway is a 1-year punt.
You think so?
Well, I mean,
I think he's more of a sleeper.
Maybe not. He can be more of a sleeper because you can talk it up. Malik.
He really just needs like
J-Mo, Shakira. He needs one more
guys to really impact from the draft, which could happen.
Well, the problem is that if Chase Brown loses his job hypothetically,
yeah,
then he's really in that weird phase, right?
How many picks do the Bengals have?
I can look it up.
Let's see. So the Bengals have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Yeah. Anything's possible still, I guess. I mean, obviously, if the Bengals draft the running back, maybe you do look more towards a punt than anything, but you have the flexibility right now. I'm going to grade this team as if Chase Brown is the starting running back this year. Because I do kind of lean like 60% versus 40% of my belief that he will be, but there is still that unknown. So I do lean towards him being the starter rather than not this year. What do you?
Yeah, I mean, I've always said if they get a running back in the first 3 rounds, I think we're a little bit scared.
Yeah,
at least I'm scared. Doesn't matter who it is. It can be Damian Martinez in the early 3rd. Like, that's scary, right? Like,
yeah. So let's just grade this with the assumption that they're not going to, and then obviously you can take a mental note, Bory, that if they do, you can turn this into a 1-year punt. But yeah, we're gonna go sleeper, I think, for this team. You're definitely gonna have a chance to get into the playoffs, especially with everyone's teams being so kind of on an even playing field here. You got the tight end and a tight end premium, which we love to see. Maybe you're a Vikings fan, you got on the Hawkinson train, we love it. So yeah. Do we need to do any other admin, right? So like your untouchables are Neighbors, Hurts, probably.
Yeah, I put Neighbors, Hurts,
Holds. Probably Pittman. You can't sell him worth anything.
Yeah, you're right. You can't sell him.
Yeah, you're just not gonna get anything for him.
And what? He's either TJ or.
I would definitely hold TJ. Yeah, definitely. As far as drops, you can drop Rondale, you can drop Mechie, you can drop Elijah, if you wanted to. I wouldn't drop Wicks with the Watson injury, but if they draft a running back, you could drop Jaleel, but you don't have to do that right now. But I definitely, like we said earlier, would probably prioritize Michael Wilson over Rondale Moore and some of these other names here on the bench.
I'll put Jaleel as a drop, Bory, but obviously you can wait until after the draft to drop him if need be.
The Broncos are a team that I almost feel the most confident in taking a running back in this year's draft. I think if you like Broncos, Raiders, I think those are maybe two of the teams that I'm like extremely confident will go running back.
I think it's going to be all offensive. Not all offensive, but maybe they go, defensive lineman because they're pretty deep on that position, and then wide receiver in the second, or running back in the second, and in the third they can get another running back or a wide receiver. However way you want to go.
Yeah. All right. We're good on admin, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the chalkboard here, and let's chalk it up. So really, you just want to add a flex here. I don't really care which position it is. I think I don't even think I was gonna say like ideally running back, but your wide receiver room is already naked too. So I think you could go either way. Maybe in an ideal world, it's running back, wide receiver with these two picks, kind of back to back. a Caleb Johnson falls, you take a shot on a Travis Hunter later in the draft.
Yeah.
I don't really think you would need to go tight end, but I also think that you're in a beneficial position because Hawkinson is already on your team, and I imagine there's quite a few teams without a tight end they feel good about. And, for example, this guy at the 110, almost a lock to take a tight end. His starting tight end is Hunter Henry. All right. Golf Stallion has Jake Ferguson, and he's got 3 picks in the first 9. He's probably going to go that direction. This guy who has Dallas Goedert starting for him has a 104, 107, 108. He's probably going to look at tight end. So there's a good chance those tight ends, not that they're undeserving, but they push the guys that you kind of want down the board anyway. So names like a Caleb Johnson, names like an Emeka Egbuka, a Matthew Golden, these guys could very well be available at your pick, and I think it would be best case scenario to probably grab 2 of these guys. Now, we can't say for sure because that's assuming that they get the draft capital we want. What's up, Alex? Yes, you can still submit one tonight, my friend. We have 4 open spots, so yes, you can. Let us know if you have any questions, my man. Appreciate you. But yeah, I think in an ideal world, that's how it goes for you. And then at the 206, again, like, what is the best player available? We're not going to see Golden here, but like the Giddens, Scadaboo, Tootin, RJ Harvey's, Trey Harris, Elijah Arroyo, those Iowa State boys as well. Who is the best player available at those 2 positions? Because that's probably where you're going to go. In an ideal world, with those first 3 picks, you walk away with 3 running back wide receivers, like a combination of them, right? As in like 2-1 or 1-2, whatever the case may be, right? With a team like this, I don't really see a reason to trade these picks, so I'm probably not going to entertain that. With it already being a sleeper team, I don't really see a huge reason to pursue that.
I think it's also, you're kind of out of that range, right? Like if you're a sleeper team, maybe if you're a contender and needed a couple more pieces, you go out and get the Terrys, the Chuba Hubbards of the world to try and fill up these these holes that you have.
Yeah.
But I'm not necessarily sure.
There's like a few names you and I would do it for, but we'll talk about that. But for the most part, I think we're probably wanting to stick and pick there.
Yeah, because a lot of it is going to depend on the draft, right? Like, if Chase Brown is not the starting running back, then you're not going to want to trade for the running back position. You might as well just wait and punt it for the year. Or maybe you do. Who knows?
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm not opposed to thinking about a Shakir move because we've seen him go for some pretty crazy prices. So it depends on your league. Pittman, you can't really sell for anything. Dobbins, I think, of course, we need to probably wait on where he's going to land. But when he does land, you could pretty easily go ahead and sell him for his top dollar if you wanted to move off of that kind of headache. I think the only other idea here is maybe using Jalen Hurts in a tear down, which we don't really have to do, but I prefer to keep Jalen Hurts. But these teams that get submitted and they're just fresh off of a startup, the creativity and the type of deals that we can offer and the type of moves that we can make might be a little bit more limited, but we're still going to help as best as we can, right? We just got a $50 super chat, which is insane. Thank you very much, Johan. It says, God bless and get that nitro, boys. Also, CD is Dynasty wide receiver 2, and I feel that as strongly as Matthew does about Cam Ward. Hey, Johan, first off, thank you very much. That is very kind of you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Let me go ahead and upgrade the Discord on the back end. All right, you know what? Let's do it. We can do it for a year, see if it makes a big difference, and then go for there. So there's like a Nitro Basic and a Nitro. I didn't know there was differences between them.
Are there two?
Let me see. The Nitro.
You guys can see me in 1080.
Yeah, let's see. So unlock a world of perks with Nitro. Join Flock Fantasy on Nitro. Okay. Nitro. Yes. Okay, here. This is where we can get the...
We can get 1 month free, too. according to this.
All right, I'm gonna put it through now. But I kind of agree with you, dude. Like I've been very vocal this offseason saying that CeeDee Lamb is like the cheapest a tier 1 receiver has been in a long time in Dynasty football. So you and me we're honestly on the same page there, dude. Like we are. What do you think about CeeDee Lamb Badaki right now? I feel like he's getting disrespected too much. Like every time I release a wide receiver rankings video, people are telling me that people should be ahead of CeeDee Lamb now. Like he's not the clear-cut 3 at worst. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. For me, CeeDee Lamb, I think he is wide receiver 3 or 4. I think there's a good argument depending on how you feel about, how you feel about Malik or whoever other these wide receivers that you really want to bring into that conversation. Because I think there is a conversation where Malik can be potentially higher. Sure. Than CeeDee Lamb, but I think you're just picking hairs, right? Like, are you picking Malik because he's only 21, 22 years old, where CeeDee is 27? You're trying to get fresher legs, right? So I'm happy for him to be within that 3, 4, 5 mix, however way you want to put it.
All right, we're about to get Nitro here.
By the way, you know what I just thought of? If you haven't done it already,
I've already put the payment through.
I think I have to get it. Am I wrong there?
Okay, we need to do this out to the stream then and figure it out.
Because I need to stream my image to 1080 so that you can get the 1080 image.
But am I able to get the 1080 image on my end if I'm not Nitro?
I have no idea.
Okay, we need to figure that out later. Anyway, we appreciate you, Johan. We will do that in a second. But
that's love, though. Appreciate you.
All right, so let's get back to Bory's team here. So at that 112, I think ideally, like, I'm going to throw some names that are in this range that if you find the right team that's already wanting to retool, you might be able to entice them. Like DJ Moore comes to mind. I'm going to go both positions. DJ Moore, Ken Walker. And again, like in a lot of leagues, you might need to pay more than this, but I'm trying to get you into that range that we really like. Excuse me. Yes, let's get rid of these draft picks. I always find them annoying to look at in the rankings. Yeah, DJ Moore, Metcalf, those would be the names I'd say for sure. DJ Moore, DK Metcalf. At running back, we're kind of in that like Ken Walker, James Cook. Walker, Cook. Yeah. Territory.
Probably about it. Hey, maybe.
You could also look at the 201 for Chuba. So I think those are like the names that we're comfortable moving, or comfortable moving the pick for, and then kind of improving your flex spot either way. With Chase Brown, we've seen him go as high as the 105, as low as the 107. I think that's the range you and I are comfortable with.
Agreed.
With Shakir, I don't think you're going to get a first-round pick for him, but you already have the 201. It's kind of like the 202 range. But you also could just keep him at this point. Look, you're not going to get a first, but if you can get any first in any year, you take it. Otherwise, maybe it's best to hold with your current roster.
I agree. I would think it's best to hold.
With J.K. Dobbins, I would say once he signs a deal, depending on what the deal looks like, you can look at like a mid-second, ideally 204 to 208 type of range. And this is again like if he signs a deal. I'm aware right now you probably can't get a second-round pick, but let's say tomorrow he signs a deal with the Chargers and it's more than Najee Harris's, then that price would probably be higher than the 204, right? So, but I think outside of that, your only flexibility. And the only name I can really think to move is Jalen Hurts, but I don't really want to, but I think we can explore it. I think this team is almost best off waiting until the NFL draft, seeing how they can fill out the roster with the draft and kind of going from there. What about you?
Yeah, I completely agree. You just have to wait to see how the board's going to fall for you to get the proper value for some of these guys.
Yeah. Okay, so we're on the same page there. Awesome. Okay, so if we were to tear down from a Jalen Hurts, and again, don't want to do this. Let me be very, very clear. Baby back Gibbs doesn't have a tear down option for us. Stroud, no. We could do like a Stroud Amon-Ra. I think we'd both be pretty happy with that. Funnily enough, Stroud is the guy I was trying to tear down all last season from, and now we're talking about using him. But Hurts was probably like a top 6 pick in your draft. Stroud probably went round 4, maybe.
Yep.
Maybe you need to send over like the 206 to kind of make things work, or the 201. I think you and I would both do this if it costs like the 201 or the 206. But of course, if you're not able to get a deal like that, and I don't blame anyone for saying they don't want to do that either, by the way, then you probably just hold onto a name like Jalen Hurts. Amon-Ra might not be the perfect fit. He might cost a little bit too much, but yeah, like a Purdy London might be better, I think. That might actually suit you a little better, and we'll see what you would kind of need to add, but Purdy's probably going to get a long-term contract. At least I feel that way. So, yeah, you could probably sneak away with like the 206 here instead of that 201. That would be honestly perfect for a team like this, the Purdy London move. I would love that. Now, that guy has a photo of Brock Purdy, so I imagine that's going to be difficult to accomplish.
Yeah, that might be tough.
Baker Higgins is probably not going to get us there. Penix. Baker 101, no doubt, but we'd have to send the 201 in that deal at minimum. And I doubt this person is going to want to trade away the 101. Everybody wants to keep the 101 right now. You could even make that the 112 to make ends meet. What about Dak Seedy?
Sure. That's actually not bad.
You're going to have to add the 201 there for sure. But another idea. And not all these will be possible.
I thought Penix Lad or Penix JSN, but is that too much? Or not enough?
No, I think I would do it for sure. I just don't think Penix is the one that people want to move. That was my only hesitation.
Right. I guess for the upgrade though.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, I mean maybe you don't even need to add that 206. Maybe you can afford to just offer like the third rounder instead. I don't know.
Yeah.
What does he have? The 306?
This guy has 306.
312, right?
Wait, our guy?
Yeah.
Yes, he has a 312.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the guy with Penix.
Yeah, so you can find a happy medium here. I don't know if he's going to want to move off of Old Mate, but it's worth trying. Jared Goff, Brian Thomas is a no-brainer option too.
Yeah, that is good.
Again, though, Brian Thomas, a name that's pretty much impossible to buy right now, so keep that in mind. I think you'd probably have to include the 201 in that type of deal. And again, we don't use KTC as like a proper resource. We're using this as a weapon because we're aware most of your leagues are using it to make sure that they have good deals, quote unquote. So
yeah,
that's why we kind of structure it around a baseline. No league is going to agree on value to a T. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
I
think there's some good trades.
I think those are your main options.
Yeah, these are some great trades. And really just having to wait in season or for the
what
NFL
about like
draft.
Nick's Bucky or Nick's AJ as a last one?
I think since we are, I would do Nick's AJ. Not because I'm not into Bucky. It's just more of like I would want to build the wide receiver room because that's probably his weakest.
Okay.
But
I definitely hear you. I think he can grow both of them with that flex spot that he has. So I'm fine with either or. But yeah, I think those are your main options there, my friend. I mean, let's play out a world where he, I think one of my favorites probably was the Purdy London deal. So you lose Jalen Hurts, but let's say you sent that 112 away for, a James Cook, for example. Just those two moves alone. You lose Hurts, you lose a 206, you lose a 112, but you add Purdy, London, Cook. And then all of a sudden your starting lineup is Purdy, May, Jacobs, Brown, or Cook. And then Neighbors, London, Hawkinson, Jameson, and then you can flex Chase Brown and or James Cook, Khalil Shakir. Your roster definitely gets an overall upgrade there.
Yeah.
So I like that a lot.
Bory, I know you're probably not here with us, but we appreciate you and your support. Overall, decent team. Just need a couple more pieces for you to definitely compete. But as always, you should be receiving your playbook within 72 hours in the Flock Fantasy Message System with all the customized information we drew up for you here today. We appreciate you.
Oh, yeah.
And your support, baby.
Johan says, when Malik and Jettas have a quarterback, I'll move them up. But for now, I have two guys with long-term deals with quarterbacks.
What are you talking about, brother? Come on. Russell Wilson's the quarterback now. Nah.
No, we hear you there. We are doing the Flock League, Oscar. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. We'll be doing the Flock League this year again.
We can't wait for it, actually. It's pretty fun.
We'll be in Austin in August, and we're very excited about that. And let me just say this. If you guys liked the Flock League last year,
it's on the next level.
The level of attention that Mason has given it this year is, I think it will be something we've never seen before in the space.
It's a full on.
I don't think you will have ever seen anything like this in the fantasy space. You're on your way to Chili's. You know what's hilarious about the whole Chili's thing, dude?
Dude, we need to go to Chili's. You need to go to Chili's and
that would be funny.
Have a clip from you making your first pick live from Chili's. Making my first pick.
Okay. Full cards on the table. So the reason I started talking about Chili's, I don't know if you guys were ever on Vine, but there was this one Vine that just was one of my top 5 Vines of all time. And it's the guy in the mirror who's recording himself. It's like, hi, welcome to Chili's. And it's so, do you remember that Vine?
Glasses? Yeah. With he wearing the small glasses or whatever?
Yeah. And ever since then, I just thought it was so funny. It stuck with me so hardcore. But I have to be honest, I didn't grow up obsessed over Chili's. I just think it's funny. I think of an American family food. You go down with your friends, your family, you go get some appetizers. But I can't sit here and say that I grew up obsessed with Chili's. It just ended up became its own thing in the Flock League, and I just went with it. I really grew up around Chick-fil-A, but there's no funny memes around that. So I was like, you know what, let's roll with it. You know what I mean? Let's have some fun here. And that's how it was kind of born. So it's funny how things kind of take a mind of their own, if you will. So that is the Chili's Flock story. JC, I appreciate you, man, showing some love on the stream today. You bought the team review, and you also just gifted 5 Dynasty Land YouTube memberships. So shout out to JC. He is Oprah today. He's like, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Johnny Mittens, Julian, Charset, Dylan, Jonathan W, Evie Diz, you guys all just got, I think it's a month complimentary membership on the
you can kind of use the little emojis and stuff that we have there on YouTube.
Nice little way to make yourself stand out.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so that's a little fun story about the Flock League, but I will tell you guys that this year's Flock League is going to be historic. The way we're talking about it, the plans we have, I'm like, whoa, this is crazy.
It's more is that even possible type whoa. I think we're going too overboard. But you're gonna watch it.
Let Mason do his thing. If Mason has his mindset on something, it's probably gonna happen. So
and I want it. I want it to be overboard. You know, I want it to be this is, like Zach said, really unique, and you can only see this in one place only, and that's the Flock League. YouTube channel.
100%. I'm gonna come back with a vengeance this year. The Land Boys were on top. We tasted the sweet nectar for like 4 or 5 weeks.
Oh gosh, I was on a good roll, and then my team just went to shit.
All right, we've got a couple trade questions. Let's get to that real quick before we get to Caveman. I did notice we had someone else purchase a membership. They haven't officially submitted any team review yet. But just so you guys know, after Caveman right now, there are no other teams that we need to review. So we can turn this into a Q&A. But also, if you guys are out there and you want a same-day review, as in you sign up for the review, we review your team right here live today, then we do have like 4 spots remaining for that. You can get your team playbook as well. We send this to you after the live review when you get the live review. But customized trade targets, what to do with your draft capital. Just become a land, promo code land, annual Mother Flocker member on the Flock site. Then you'll go to the Flock store. You can purchase a team review there from us. You'll get a voucher that will make the offline review free. It'll make the live review just $7. And if you're a member on a different promo code, you can also get your team playbook / review with us. You just have to go to the Flock store, the same process, but you don't get a review, right? So yeah. So yeah, there you go. All right. Scribble says, I just want to see Zach. Can't top how hilariously obnoxious he was last year. I love it. I'll find a way.
Awesome.
I'll find a way. I'm not gonna lie, like week 10, it got really difficult to like be creative. But I was trying. All right, let's go to Caveman here. Sorry, let's answer these questions here real quick, okay? We've got one from Clifford. And Clifford is sending away James Cook, CeeDee Lamb, and Jalen Waddle. He would get back Bijan, Ladd, and Marvin. And as much as I love CeeDee Lamb, I think this is a no-brainer yes.
I completely agree.
On the Bijan side of this, I think you could put Bijan and CD in the same tier in a startup. All right, so let's just say that that's a wash. Then you have to ask yourself James Cook and Jalen Waddle or Ladd McConkey and Marvin Harrison. Marv's a great buy low right now. Y'all know we love us some Ladd the Space Creator, one of our best picks in Dynasty last year. And yeah, I think it's a no-brainer to go the Bijan side of this.
I completely agree. Completely agree. This is a huge win for you there, Clifford.
Okay, awesome. Tony is the next one here. He says, I'm back. Took your advice to keep Jaden. Got an offer. Now, do you have the playbook for Tony? I want to look and remind myself what he's referring to here. But it looks like he would, in a 1 quarterback league. I remember this deal. I remember this team, actually. Hold on. I remember this team. Yeah, he had Daniels, and the wide receiver room was stacked. Yes. Okay. So, the trade is he sends away Caleb Williams, a mid-second, the 109, and a 4th. He gets back a 3rd, a 2nd, and Achane. So let's kind of remove all the bullshit from this deal, okay? And when I say bullshit, I mean the 2025 5th, the 2025 3rd, and those seconds. Let's cancel those out. The meat of this deal is the 109 and Caleb Williams or Devon Achane, and this is a 1 quarterback league. Yeah. And I think my answer is pretty easily Devon Achane here.
Yeah, exactly. I had to double check if it was 1 quarterback or super flex, but it is 1 quarterback. You take the running back there, and you'd be okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, adding Achane to a running back room that has Kenneth Walker, Chase Brown, you're going to have a starting lineup of Daniels, Achane, Walker, Chase, London, Hawkinson, Marvin, and then you have one more spot to fill between Chase Brown and Rome Odunze, and you still have those picks. Well, you lose the 109, but you still have the 108. Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer for you, man. That's exactly the type of deal we were hoping to get to you when we were on your team review, your team playbook, and I'm glad you were able to get something like that going. That is perfect. Awesome.
I love it, man. Appreciate you.
We did just get another submission, so we now have 3 spots remaining on today's stream. All right, so we had Rolex come in and submit a team. We're going to get to Caves here in a second. One more trade question before we get there from Z Munger. He says, trying to contend, should I go get Rice? Rice is an interesting name for a contender, right? Because he might not help you the first 4 or 5 weeks with the suspension. Now, I'm curious where these seconds are. It says three mid-seconds, but you get an early second back. So let's just say hypothetically, You're getting the 202 in Rashee Rice. You're sending away Keon, the 205, the 206, and the 207. That sounds like the cheapest Rashee Rice I've seen in a while, and I would comfortably take this quote-unquote risk on a Rashee Rice in this deal. What about you?
Yeah, I completely agree. Yours says early second, which means the second that you're receiving is significantly, not significantly, but higher than the ones that you're getting here. So, and we're not big believers of Keon Coleman. He could potentially take a next step, but I would rather have Richie Rich over all these guys, personally.
Yeah, we're going to go Rice there. I love that. It's hilarious when I've done it twice this offseason, made a video about buying Rashee Rice, and every time I do it, the comment section is full of opinions that are completely opposite, meaning people are saying there's no way you can go buy Rashee Rice right now. It's impossible. All right, it's impossible to do. No one can buy Rashee Rice. And then there's other comments where people are like, I just bought Rashee Rice for the 201. I just bought him for the 112. I just got him cheap in my league. It's like there's like literally every single time we get these differing opinions here. Z Munger says, I'm sitting the 26 first and 2 early seconds. I receive Rice in the 204. So this is, obviously it was submitted in a strange way through the site, just to clarify. So he's actually sending his 26 first in this deal. That does change things. He's sending a 26 first and 2 early seconds for Rice in the 204. I would rather, and is Keon not involved, Z-Munger? Because I would rather just send your 26 first and Coleman. That would be my counter to this deal.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Your 26 and Coleman should be enough to get the deal done, or at least be a good counter to continue a conversation. But I wouldn't pay a 26 first and 2 early seconds and Coleman. I think you're doing a little too much there based off what I've seen in the market. All right. Let's get to Caveman's team here. Appreciate you for being patient, JC. You are up on the deck here. You're not even up on the deck. You're up to bat. He says, thank you guys for your time. I appreciate the support, JC. And this league is also tight end premium, he mentioned, which we see that 0.5 tight end premium. It's a 10-team league. Start 10, so it is a middle ground starting lineup. In a super flex type of format there.
Yes.
And
and
yeah, let's have a geese at the team. Team name is the Droogs, currently ranked 2nd. You're right there, tied with number 1 as well. So sounds like a pretty decent team, but walk us through it.
Yeah, we'll have a look at this team. Appreciate you and your support. Let's have a look. Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix, Daniel Jones. Decent quarterback room for sure. At the running back position, Etienne, Warren, Mason, the list goes on. Not the strongest running back room, but hopefully we can make a turnaround because I see your draft capital.
Yep.
You can start it to 5 wide receivers: Brian Thomas, Drizzy Drake, Marvin Harrison, Roma Dunze, and Jameson Williams there. Short on the depth if one of these guys do go down, but that's okay. You have Sam Laporta, Kyle Pitts, but you do have the 101 and the 105 here. Okay,
it's a good team. Obviously,
it is a good team.
We can add Ashton Genty to this when we're thinking about it. So in a thinking about this, you're starting Daniels, Penix, Genty, Warren or Etienne or Mason, then Thomas, London, Laporta, Marvin, Adunze, Jameson, and we haven't even included what you'll do at the 105 there. The main concern is obviously the running back room and a quarterback 3. But assuming Daniels and Penix remain healthy, you probably won't have to address that just yet. But I like the team for sure, especially considering we're going to add Genty to this. You've got a lot of top-end talent with Daniels, Genty, Thomas. It's a lot of top-end names there. In fact, those 3 are probably your untouchables. The Daniels, Genty, Thomas. I'd also say, as far as holds, we're definitely going to go with Dunze. Jordan Mason is one of my favorite holds slash stashes. And no, he's not really as much of a stash. I was shocked how low consensus was on Jordan Mason in a recent video. I have him RB32. I thought I was low on him, but people have him like RB44, which I don't really think reflects the type of work he's going to get.
Yep.
You also might as well hold Etienne because your running back room is already so bad. You know, you can hold guys like Elijah Mitchell as well. As far as drops, if you needed to clear space, you could drop Gibson. You know, I don't really want to drop Wiley.
Yeah. There's a couple people. Sorry, go ahead, continue.
But that would be the other name. I don't want to drop Wiley, but maybe Keaton or Shipley you could drop too.
Yeah, there's a couple people on the waiver wire that I know you're pretty fond of, like Kayshon Boutte. I know we've been saying the whole Jordan Whittington, but I know Devontae Adams is there now, which might be a little bit more of a not somebody you should pick up, but maybe you can go ahead and just stash him for now.
Yeah.
If you wanted to do something along those lines.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not saying that you. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe Kenny Pickett, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna draft the quarterback.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Milton should be rostered. I'd probably prefer him over like the Shipleys, Keatons on your roster. The Romans, Gibsons, Vele, Boutte are worth picking up, but you probably don't have room for them. I'm imagining. All right, overall team grade. Considering the draft capital, it's you have two very impact picks. I'd probably lean like a B.
I think this is like a B flat, B plus ish type.
Yeah,
team.
B flat, B plus.
Yeah,
you need it to come together at the running back spot. Still, I'd say a B flat is fair, but it's a good team. There's a lot of upside here for this to be an A at some point very soon. And as far as the pathway goes, I don't see why we can't compete with this team.
Yeah,
I don't know about you.
This is a contender for sure.
Yeah, with the moves that we're gonna make, like we'll definitely be able to contend. Is I guess where I'm going there. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say, JC, whenever you want, jump in. If there's any other context you want to include here on your team review, we're more than happy to take that on board.
Absolutely. Should we go to the chalkboard? Is there anything else that we haven't talked about?
No, that's good.
All right, let's pull up the chalkboard here. Let's get popping. Finger popping. Okay. Ashton Genty is what we're gonna do here. All right, at the 101, I think we're gonna lock and load in him. He's exactly what you need, and you know we always say this. We do not anticipate any of your leagues being okay with this, but the only way in your scenario you're moving the 101 is for Bijan or Jahmyr Gibbs. That's it, and no one's probably willing to do that, but it doesn't matter because we're gonna stick and pick Ashton Genty, who's gonna be the running back 3 in Dynasty from day one. Okay, you need that on this roster, you really do. Now, at the 105, in an ideal world, you just go running back to back with this team. No, I think you're like a Ward or a running back at this pick. You could potentially get away with Etienne, Warren, Mason, Bigsby, one of these guys being a startable name on a week-to-week basis, depending on matchup and injuries ahead of them. But yeah, as far as sorry, Connor saying if I sign up as a member and pay monthly, is there a free blueprint? Because as a non-member, it would be $132 because I'm Canadian. You mean for the playbook? I assume you mean. But monthly members, no, because people were. Just full transparency, Connor, people were abusing that. They were signing up for monthly memberships, getting a team review, and then canceling. So yeah, we don't do it for monthly members, unfortunately, Connor. But no stress at all, my friend. If you're not, if you don't want to do it, no pressure. I mean, my suggestion to you is if you're not a member on the Flock site just yet, I would go the membership route
instead of buying the one-off.
Yeah, because not only do you get the team playbook, right, but you also get our rookie report. You get a free trade question voucher, start sit voucher in season. You unlock our rankings, all the premium tools and databases on the website. And then if you ever wanted to come back and buy another team review or a play or let's say you wanted to get a start sit question in season, you get a 30% discount on all purchases after you're a member anyway. But we'll leave that up to you, my friend, but we can't do it for monthly members, unfortunately. Hopefully that's understandable.
Thanks for the consideration, though. If it doesn't go through, we still appreciate you.
Absolutely. But in an ideal world here, JC, it's like Ashton and then a combination of either Hampton, Henderson, Judkins, Johnson, or Ward. I think you're another team that could definitely consider Ward with, currently having Penix as your quarterback too. It wouldn't hurt to to look at. But let's say Caleb and Judkins and Henderson all go in round 2, then you should be able to kind of choose one of those options there. Let's just say hypothetically you go Ginty, Henderson. You know, that could be your starting 2 here this year. You're starting Daniels, Penix, Ginty, Henderson, Thomas, London, Laporta, Marvin, Adunze, and Jameson. And then you can still flex names like Etienne, Warren, Mason. Those guys would all be flexible names. And potentially Daniel Jones could win out the job in Indianapolis. So you never know.
Come on, DJ. Let's go, baby.
Now, I don't think I don't want to tear down from the 101 in a 10-team league. I really want to get those premium. What's up, Traxx? Yes, $7 is just that little upgrade that members need to do to get it live. Just $7, Traxx.
I kind of agree with you with the max value, right? You have the 101. I'd rather keep Ashton, and the 105 is kind of that sweet spot where we kind of always. Obviously, JC, you've been on our live stream multiple times. It's kind of the sweet spot where we always say, hey, you might as well just stick and pick there. You can't really trade back from that 105. I mean, technically you can, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult to do that. Or you can just trade straight for vet at that 105 position, but we don't like that area either, right? I mean, in the 105 position at the running back position specifically,
I'd say for me, I know we might disagree on this, but I would go. I'd be comfortable to go Bucky Irving, knowing that you're going to have Bijan Bucky would be fine for me. And obviously we would do Achane, but Achane's probably going to cost more. But outside of that, I don't want to do this for Taylor, Brees, like those.
Yeah, exactly.
Jacobs,
you don't want to do it for those guys.
So, I was gonna say we could look at tearing down from the 105, but it's not a good spot to tear down from, honestly.
No.
So yeah,
you're kind of right in that meat. Still getting one of those guys, you know, like you highlighted, Henderson, Judkins, you know, and if those guys are taken, let's say Tet falls to a really terrible spot, maybe Cam Ward slips to the top 5 in your draft, and then you got Ashton, then Henderson, Quinshawn go, and then Cam Ward. Like, you're kind of out of it then, technically.
Yeah.
You're not going to have any one of those guys.
Yeah.
JC said Henderson or Judkins if you had to choose one. For me personally, it would be Henderson, but I think ultimately it's going to be based on landing spot.
And draft capital for sure.
And draft capital, right? So.
Yeah. Okay, but outside of that, let's have a look at this team. You know, names I wouldn't mind selling right now. Jaylen Warren. I still think the Steelers could add to that backfield, and right now a lot of people are telling you to buy. That makes me interested in a sell. It's a tight end premium with Laporta. I don't think you get the power to move him like a full point premium, so I'd probably hold him. I don't have an interest in moving any of your wide receivers, really. Man, honestly, there's not as many players that I'm actively wanting to sell with this team.
I guess the question for me would be, as much as I don't want to sell Laporta, it's only a 0.5, so it doesn't move the needle.
I don't think so. Yeah. I don't think it really makes sense to pursue that.
I can't think of someone you can tear down to.
Let's look at a running back needy team that is competing. Let's see what kind of capital they have. The 201 there with Blinken. Yeah, we're going to struggle to find a happy place here between these two teams with the 201. I mean, you could try and offer them like Kyle Pitts and Warren for the 201. I think that might get the job done for you to give you some more flexibility. It is a tight end premium, so maybe you could ask back for the 301 as well. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Let's see here. Yes, we got your review, Traxx. You are good to go, man. You've done it the right way. So we'll get to yours today as well.
That's awesome. Appreciate you, man.
We've got the 202 here with needs the D. They have Najee, Aaron Jones. They could potentially be interested in a Jaylen Warren. Some people view him very highly. Some people don't. So it'll depend on your league, right? These other guys, I don't really think are going to have a big need for Jaylen Warren. Maybe so many JT 205, 208.
Yeah.
I think the 205 is fine for me, but you know, could you sneak in a Marshawn Lloyd there? I don't know. You know your league a little bit better than us. Just as like a fun little upside player. Could you do like a what about like a 303 Trey Benson?
.303 Trey Benson, yeah. I'd rather do that because I still believe he's going to be the starter, or a starter at some point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would honestly just probably do that straight up, personally. But
yeah. Yeah, sure. I get you. Those are the main moves, man. I really want to open the floor to Caveman here. I think your roster, full transparency, is in a little bit of like a restricted position from a movability perspective because you clearly need running back, and this class has running backs that we want. So it's kind of very straightforward, and I don't really want to sell these wide receivers. I would be interested in Laporta move. We can explore that. I just don't think he's going to have the power in a tear down in a league like this. Let's look at team JP here. He has Kittle. Ferguson, I'm not sure that's going to work. You could... wow, this team is weird. Look at 2 JPs, 1 cup. This team is so strange. What a strange team. Yeah, I just don't think... I don't think you're going to get much in a Laporta move. You might as well hold him at this point. So I apologize we weren't able to be as creative with yours, but sometimes the teams are more straightforward, and you know we just want to keep you steering in the right direction rather than kind of move the boat around and end up on the wrong course, if that makes sense.
It's memes around. I'm the JP. Anyways, we appreciate you, JC. Thank you so much for the support, not only on, you know, during the stream, but obviously on the Flock Fantasy site. We appreciate you and everything that you've been doing here in the community. And as always, you should be receiving your playbook within 72 hours on the Flock Fantasy website. You know, on the Flock Fantasy website. Sorry, I'm reading a text message as well. But you should be receiving your playbook within 72 hours on the Flock Fantasy message system there with all the customized information we drew for you here today. But thank you so much for the support, man.
Yeah, big time. JC says, he says, also, I'm the JP. The whole league is memed around. I love it. Also, don't have much to add, but I appreciate your input. Thanks, guys. We love you. I appreciate you big time, man. Appreciate you big time. Lockbadaki said your playbook is going to be sent to you within 72 hours there. All right, we do have a couple people who have submitted some teams here. Traxx says, hey, Zach, is your OKC Thunder team going to choke in the playoffs? You know you can't let my Celtics win back-to-back. I mean, we beat your team twice, and we weren't even healthy. So I think you need to be worried about them Celtics.
Let's be honest, though. Like, regular season doesn't matter, am I right? It just really doesn't.
It doesn't matter except when a team is historically one of the best teams of all time, statistically. We have the highest net rating of all time. If you look at the top 5 teams in net rating, no team has lost in the NBA Finals that year. And we are number 1 all time. We have done historic things this year. And our team hasn't even been fully healthy the entire season. From Chet Holmgren to Isaiah Hartenstein to Jalen Williams to Lou Dort to Cason Wallace. We've had injuries throughout the entire season. And that man Shea is the MVP. And he already balled out in last year's playoff. He showed he could show up at any moment. So we'll see. We'll see.
Well, yeah, look, we'll see. I don't really know much about basketball. I'll know is that the New York Knicks.
The New York Knicks are going to play their players 50 minutes a night in the playoffs. We'll see how it goes. That's the Thibodeau way. That's
the Thibodeau way, and I don't really know what that means either. But Hopefully we win.
that is your head coach. His name is Tom Thibodeau.
Well, yes, I understand that, but like I don't know, like the 50 minutes.
He's
are you
known
saying, like,
for like pretty much wearing his team into the ground with minutes, like not using his bench, not really.
Right.
Yeah, which is fine in the playoffs,
Okay.
but yeah. All right, Raylex here says in a retool year, but want to push to compete, need receiver help, and I know I won't get it in the draft. On draft day, I have possible trades lined up. I give up Lamar for the 108 Herbert or Knicks JSN in the 103. Oh my God. Please go the Knicks deal now. We'll talk about that. I also have Zay Smith for a 26 first available. No, thank you. Thanks, guys. Looking forward to watching. Okay, cool. So it's a 10 team, start 10, another middle ground here. This is actually the same lineup as the previous team. And I just wanted to quickly talk to Ivan here. I replied to him, but I just want to clarify that if you do a team review with an MFL team, you can upload screenshots and you can include your MFL ID and we can still look at your league, but we can't sync it on the site as well. What's up, Big Bark? All right, let's do a little before we get to Raylex's. Let's let everybody know how they can submit a team, okay? All right, you can get your team playbook, right? You'll see this is what it looks like after the live review. We send you this detailed graphic, custom trade targets. You can get that by becoming a land promo code land annual Mother Flocker member. When you sign up, you'll get a voucher which you can use in the Flock store. Just make sure that you upgrade to the live tier if you want it done live, because you get the offline version for free, but the upgrade is only $7 for members, right? And then, of course, you get all of our rankings, premium databases, discounts on future purchases on the site, 30% off on any future purchases, our 2025 rookie report, the Discord completely unlocked. So that is the best way to do it. Now, if you're a member on a different promo code or you don't want to become a member, you can still go through that same process when you go to the Flock store, but you just will have to purchase one a la carte and you won't have a voucher. So I appreciate y'all big time. You can check out that pinned comment in the chat. I'll also put it in there for you now. But let's get to this. So a retool, like we said, start 10. His team name is Judge Judy. He's currently ranked 7th. I just want to start with that Lamar deal. If you're in the chat, Raylex, can you clarify? Are you telling me that you can get Bo Nix, JSN, and the 103 for Lamar Jackson? Can you clarify? Because if that offer is on the table, I would ask you to probably accept it right now. Especially looking at your team. My goodness. We've got some moves to make here.
I would definitely accept that, and even the other one, Zay Flowers, Devonta Smith, depending on the first.
I'm not a big fan of the class, so I probably wouldn't accept it for a 26 first. But
sure.
He says only happens if Hampton goes 2. The guy won't do it until the NFL draft. Okay. Well, you are going to become the biggest Amarion Hampton fan during the NFL draft and pray to God that he gets drafted round 1 because that deal would be a cheat code for your team. So again, hypothetically, you're saying you could send Lamar and you could get Bo Nix, JSN, and the 103. Honestly, dude, like what will we need to do to just have this go through today? Like if you sent him the 201, would he push it through today? If you sent him Khalil Shakir. Now, if you're sitting there and you're saying, look, it's not going to happen. He needs to wait until the draft. No pressure. But I'm thinking like, oh, it's Lamar and the 108? You have to send the 108 and Lamar. Is that right? Did I read that wrong? Ah, Lamar and the 108. Well, the Herbert's... Sorry, I read it as you would get the 108 and Herbert. Why would someone ask for the 108? Why would someone ask for Lamar and the 108 for Justin Herbert, though? Or you're saying these quarterbacks are interchangeable?
Yeah, for Herbert or Nix.
Okay.
Herbert or Nix, Jason, and the 103.
I understand more now. I apologize. Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let's wait until the draft on that one then. I mean, let's think about that with a bit more clarity here then. I would still do it. Probably. especially for your team that's looking to retool. I mean, we haven't gotten into it yet, but
Yeah, let's have a look at the team.
yeah.
And then we can talk about if we need to do this. Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, with Daniel Jones, and the list goes on. A lot of quarterbacks that you could potentially drop, which we'll get to. At the running back position, Josh Jacobs, James Cook, Najee Harris, Ramondre Stevenson, and the list goes on. Decent running back room. You can start it with 5 wide receivers here. George Pickens, Jerry, Shakira, Stephon Diggs, Darnell Mooney are your starting 5 wide receivers, which in reality, it's not the strongest wide receiver room at all. You actually rank 10th. You have some high upside guys, but not there. But you Tucker Kraft, Brenton Strange with the 107, 108, 201. You have your 20. You have somebody else's 26 first.
I know.
Which is J Money.
This is not ideal here to not have your own first when you're wanting to retool. That's going to be difficult. You're really going to limit your flexibility here. J Money is team 9. I would argue he has a better team than you pretty easily. So his pick is not going to be as valuable as yours. Where is your pick? Who has your pick here? Now, I'm not a big fan of the 26 class, but I'm not a fan of not having your pick if you want to
Among
retool.
Us, team 10. An imposter among us.
Well, that team looks like they could compete. I wonder if we could send them like Josh Jacobs or James Cook. If you're really wanting to retool, not having your own future picks is going to make it feel very difficult because you're assuming you want to retool, and I think you probably should, looking at this roster. Full transparency, this wide receiver room is one of the worst wide receiver rooms we've seen this week, and you're going to get transparency from us anytime you jump on a call or jump on a review. But you're currently ranked 10th in my rankings out of 10. I would say that's accurate. This is probably the worst wide receiver room in your league. You can't rely on that 107, 108 to save you. So this team is definitely not a contender in my eyes. You're going to start Jackson, Murray, Jacobs, Cook, Pickens, Judy, Kraft, and then we still need to start 3 names. Who are those 3 names? Shakir, Diggs, Najee. Like, this team might slip into the playoffs based off Lamar Jackson alone. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh. I just think if the idea was to retool, which sounds like a one-year punt type of move, or are you just wanting to retool and compete this year? That wide receiver room is tough. And keep in mind, this is a 10-team league.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking. It's a 10-team league. You don't have the strongest wide receiver room. I mean, I wasn't a big believer in Pickens. He gets DK now. Jerry Judy, we even know who the quarterback is. Stephon Diggs. In reality, your 2 starting wide receivers, based off of their position and everything around them, is Shakir, and Stephon Diggs. Which, to have that as your 1-2 punch is probably not the strongest, to be completely honest with you. Yeah, my initial thought is like, we should just break this down, but you don't have your first.
Yeah, well, that's the issue. He doesn't have his own first-round pick. So we're going to have to really think this through. You need your first-round pick, or it doesn't make sense to try and reset this.
I mean, I guess he can get his first-round pick back if he really wanted to, with Lamar getting some of these.
I think you want to try and send Jacobs or Cook for that first. Now, the good news is the guy who has your first looks like he's going to try and contend. You could also try, like, Pickens. I mean, would you do Pickens and Judy? Or Pickens and Diggs?
Pickens and Judy or Pickens and Diggs for the first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of try and sell off this hype of Diggs getting that contract. Yeah, look, I would even be willing to look at like adding a Stevenson or a Sanders or something to make this work, because I had a look briefly at all the other teams. I'm not 100% sure you're a lock for the playoffs with this team. So to know that, you probably have like a 50-50 chance of playoffs, and that's assuming everyone's healthy. And I might be being too generous. So assuming that, and then seeing this wide receiver room, I really think you need to get your first back and then do a 1-year punt at least. Now, in the event that you turn Lamar in the 108 into Nick's JSN in the 103, you're in a better spot if you get a deal like that done, honestly.
Yeah, I think this is where I would go. Sorry.
In or out, right?
Yeah, it's in or out. Because if you wait to the NFL draft, you get that deal done, you get JSN. It gives you a boost. You still have a decent running back room. You still have a decent quarterback room. You get JSN that gives you the boost, and you have the 107 that can either help you. That can be hypothetically Mika Ibuka. That could be another quarterback potentially. That could be another running back, right? And obviously, we can kind of talk up your tight end room. Then you wait until in season. Then you wait to see if your team is going to compete, if your team's going to stay healthy, and if not, then you just tear it down.
Yeah. So we're going to go 2 options here, and then you decide what you want to do. Okay, let's start with we're out, okay? Okay, so we're out. The Lamar Jackson move didn't work, or at least with that guy specifically. Let's do some admin real quick. Just quickly, sorry. So, overall team grade, and again, you guys are always going to get honesty from us, right? You don't have your first in 2026. That really hurts your flexibility. It is going to have a dink on your grade here. You've got 2 picks late first this year, which is good. That wide receiver room is rough, man. I'm going to probably say a C+.
Okay.
I'm also trying to keep in context that this is a 10-team league. In a 12-team, maybe I could put like a B- on this. But I think this is a C+. Your draft capital grade is a weird one because you don't have your own first. So again, you're hurting your flexibility. I'll just say a B flat. As far as your untouchables, technically the only one is Lamar Jackson, but we might move him regardless of if we're in or out. I think if we're in or out, we're moving him. So maybe it's best to mark his untouchables as his 27 first, and if he can get his 26 first back, his 26 first. The holds on this team, if you are rebuilding, I don't know if there is a hold on this team.
Yeah, I don't
Kraft,
think there's a hold.
Strange.
Maybe Brenton Strange you can hold.
Kraft and Strange may be the only that I would hold if you're actually rebuilding this. As far as drops, you can drop Zamir White. You can drop Zach Wilson, Cooper Rush, Drew Lock. You can drop Antonio Gibson if you like. Adam Thielen, you probably could, but you can hold on another year if you want. On the waiver wire, there isn't really anyone interesting. Luke Musgrave, I'd rather roster over some of those tight ends you have. Okay, we done all admin?
Yeah, that's everything.
If we are in, let's play the out route first, okay? So if we're out, it's all about going best player available with these picks, all right? Adding, someone to the wide receiver room with a burden or a, even Ibuka is an option here, right? Adding running backs wouldn't hurt your flex either if they're the best player available. A Ward or a Sanders are in play here. These are the type of names that you could consider. Let's say hypothetically you end up with the burden and a Judkins, just hypothetically. That could definitely be impactful for this team. You could definitely use that boost in both of those areas. I don't mind going tight end, but it's a non-tight end premium league, so we'll keep that in mind. At the 112, you're more in like that golden. It depends on how the draft goes, but golden, maybe a Loveland Warren falls there. A Travis Hunter you could take a shot on, and then beyond that, it's true BPA. But you're really going BPA at every single pick. Just try again. If you're playing the out route, you're completely resetting. Then the positions that you draft do not matter. You just need the best available player at each pick. You do not need a roster figured out. Now, if you're going that out route, again, you need to get your first round pick back. You have to have it. You just have to. Now, he has a Caleb Williams, which we could try and tear down to, What about Caleb, R26 first, and like Xavier Worthy or something? I would want to go Amon-Ra, but I don't know if we could.
Is it Caleb? What was that again? Caleb.
The 26 first.
R26 first.
And Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, I think that should be okay.
You know,
so you get your first back, you still tear down at the wide receiver or quarterback position, and you get a young wide receiver.
I would love to like throw in an Amon-Ra idea here, but I don't think that's possible to do Amon-Ra in this deal.
And like this out route that you're bringing,
sorry,
is this full
maybe
rebuild?
if he adds the 107, sorry. Yeah, this would you'd probably go full rebuild here.
Yeah, okay. So if that's the case, then I'm happy to do like, if I'm thinking about this Lamar deal, then I'm happy to add like one of these wide receivers, like the Moonies. I don't know if it's gonna get you over the line, but like the Moonies, the Judys, right? Instead of the 107, because I would rather keep that capital.
Well, I think you're gonna have to add the 107.
You're gonna have to do that
names to get.
So what if we keep the 107 and then add like Pickens and Mooney?
I just don't think he's gonna. I don't think they're gonna.
They're gonna do something like that. That's fair.
But
either way, I'm happy with whatever you. Yeah, you can try it.
The other idea is you could also ask for their 27 first instead of Worthy if you wanted. That asset is not going to lose value, you know?
Sure.
And then with this out route, you would start to, you know, in season, you would start to sell off some of these names. Josh Jacobs, James Cook, right? For Jacobs, you're looking for a mid-future first, not a late. So find a team in the middle. Same for James Cook. Ideally in 2027, you're trying to send away Khalil Shakir for like the 201 type of range in this year's class, or multiple seconds in a future class. You're sending Jerry Jeudy away for the same thing. Let's just say, or Jeudy. Okay. And then Pickens, it's the same thing with Pickens, actually.
Unfortunately.
Okay. This is your pathway forward. Najee. Sorry. You have all these players in like the same tier. All right. So all those guys, those are the type of return you're looking for. For Stevenson, it's more of like really like a late second, like the 207 to the 212 range. All right. And then, yeah, you need to get your first back. All right. If you do a deal like that. Now, the route that you're in is that you have moved Lamar in the 108 for Nick's Jason in the 103. All right, so that would give your roster at least a legitimate top-end guy like JSN to start. You'd be starting Knicks at the 103. Let's say you take Tet or Omarion Hampton. That would be a huge help to this team, but Jacobs, Cook. Then you go JSN, Pickens, Kraft. You could start Hampton or Tet in your flex. You could start Najee in your flex, Jeudy, Shakir, Diggs. Along with whatever you do at the 107 and the 201, there's enough there to go out and compete. And then what you could also do is trade for a wide receiver with some of these picks, right? I think the 107 and the 201 are, like the 108 maybe, like DJ Moore always comes to mind for you and I. But like that 201, you could look at like a Devontae Adams for a team like this if he wants to go in. Maybe
yeah,
see if
he
he
has
can get
201
back.
this one. He has a 201 this year, by the way, but I get it.
Yeah. What are you saying? Sorry.
No, you said for the 201, but he has a 201 this year.
Yeah. We're trying to get Devontae Adams for the 201.
Oh, I'm just talking about like the Shakir and stuff, or Pickens.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that's the 202 then, or the 203 actually, because this is a 10-team league, 202 to 203.
Yeah.
But yeah, So the 201 for Davante Adams is probably an overpay, actually, in this sort of format. So let's see what the Davante Adams owner has. Maybe we can find a 2 for 2. That's really the 111. Like, if you can add the 207 on top of your side, that's probably asking too much. But yeah, maybe we ask for the 207, and then we can send something else back in return as well. Like the 307. I don't know. That might not be aggressive enough for Adams, but you got to keep in mind that 201 is actually a first-round value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. In a 10-man league.
Yeah. So Adams comes to mind. You could do that same deal for like an Evans, maybe Godwin.
Godwin, Terry.
But these are the 2 routes that you can take, my friend. Depending on how this all pans out. You know, adding a DJ, a JSN. You know, let's just say you did these 3 deals here. So you lost Lamar, the 108. Well, you'd have to use the 107 here for DJ. So the 108, 107, the 201, and the 307. But you added Knicks, JSN, DJ Moore, Davante Adams, and let's say Omarion Hampton for the sake of the conversation, right? I mean, that would definitely put you in a position where you could go compete with this team.
Yeah.
So,
and Alex,
those are your 2 options here.
Yeah. Let us know if I know you were here in the chat. Let us know if you have any last minute questions. Thank you so much for the support. And as always, you should be receiving your playbook within 72 hours in the Flock Fantasy message system, customized everything that we drew up here for you today. I think it is a huge decision, or not a huge decision, but you're going to have to make a decision whether your team is going to go in the direction you hope, obviously, is to continue to compete. But sometimes it's not what we want to hear as well with everything that we just said. But we appreciate you once again.
Yeah. Reek and Adams, this might sound insane. I think I'd rather have Davante Adams in Dynasty right now over Tyreek, but it's close. They'd be in the same tier. What's up, Dre? Welcome in.
How you doing, brother?
That's
rough. My team is ranked 3rd in domain.
As in, they think you have the 3rd best team in your league. Okay.
So you got 2 night and day things. Obviously, you can take that as you will. I'm not sure. They must be higher on Pickens. I mean, I'm not sure who they're higher on, to be honest.
I guess Pickens, Shakir, maybe.
Are they high on Pickens and Shakir and Diggs? I'm not a big Pickens guy, but I'm a big Shakir guy. I think Shakir, by after the NFL draft, maybe the beginning of August, you're going to see Shakir higher than Pickens. Because I think he's going to be the number 1 guy there. I think a lot of people aren't seeing that.
Well, I've already got them ranked 2 apart. I don't really care who you go between these 3 guys, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just think there's a lot of
3rd overall in this league is interesting. I just think there's a lot of teams that are better than yours, man. I mean, let's just go through it real quick. Like the Avengers, Daniels, Hurts, Bijan, Saquon, Jefferson, Mark. I mean, I'm sorry, I think they have your number. Double Champ, who has 3 top 10 quarterbacks, 3 top 14 receivers. I think they got your number. MPJ, I guess you can make an argument for, but with Chase, Bowers, the 104, 105, 109, that's going to be a tough sell for me. T-Money with that Lamb, Harrison, Wilson, Hawkinson, 101, adding Genty. Mahomes, Gibbs, London, McConkey. I'll be honest, man, I haven't seen a team that I think you are better than so far. We've only gone through 5 teams, but I don't know. It's great to get a difference of opinion then, you know?
Yes, because I think the draft picks get more weight on the domain rankings, right? I mean, the draft picks get a good weight on ours, but I guess... I guess they're talking about rankings specifically. Like, when you think about rankings, they have the rankings specifically higher throughout. Maybe. Well, sure.
I apologize if, like, this was... I don't want you to feel some type of way, Alex. This is just our honest opinion, so I really do hope it was helpful, but obviously go with whatever you feel was, more aligned with your opinion on your team, right? And we gave you those two options. So you do have two kind of ways forward here, my friend. I really do hope it was helpful, though.
My team's about to be now good, guys. Love the vids. Hey, we appreciate you, Alex. Yeah, we really do hope it was helpful, and I guess we said like it's good to get a difference of opinion 100%. For sure. Yeah, appreciate you. All right, 2:15. I gotta make this for this playbooks for Traxx.
All right, Traxx, I think you are the last one for today. We definitely have spots for more. I think we have spots for 2 more live same-day reviews. If you guys are out there and wanting to get your team reviewed on the same day today. Corey's offline, same with Patman. We already finished Patman's offline review. But, yeah, I'll say it one last time, and then we'll get to Traxx's review. If you guys are out there, you want your team playbook, which we would consider a customized game plan for your offseason. Everybody gets this graphic sent to them after they get the live review. Then you can become a land annual mother flock. Remember, you'll get a voucher that you can use through the flock site, through the store. You'll get a team review. Just make sure you choose that live tier if you want it done live. Now, when you get that voucher, the offline playbook becomes free. The live review becomes $7 simply as an upgrade. And then if you guys are out there and you are a member on a different promo code, you can still get a playbook and live review from us. You just got to go through the flock store, but you won't have a voucher. You just got to buy it up, completely straight up. So yeah. Wyatt says this looks like a flex. Michael says, what do you guys think about Domain's bakery placement for the rookies? I haven't looked at the bakery. I'm not sure.
We haven't had a look at that.
I'm sure they do great work. No doubt about it. All right. Let's go to Traxx here. Potentially last review of the day.
All right. Traxx, appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support. He said didn't know what team to choose, so I chose the team and wanted to hear your opinion on what to do with the team moving forward. If you want to know any trades I made, I'll send it in the chat. All right. Perfect. You're currently ranked first. Is it 2 quarterback, 12 teams, start 11?
You are very clearly the number 1 team in this league. And I'm imagining... I mean, look, I'm not going to look at the team yet, but Badaki, what number is this?
215.
Okay, so I want you guys to be aware that since we started doing playbooks, we have given... Let me do the math here.
I think it's 3.
No, 2.
I think we gave 2. Okay.
We have given the Thanos tag to 0.9% of people who have submitted a team. So less than 1% of teams that have ever submitted a playbook have gotten the Thanos tag.
Just to keep in mind,
the reason I'm saying that is because we're about to look at a team that is very clearly ahead of everyone else, but doesn't mean it's going to be a Thanos.
No, I was going to say, like, even if you're just looking at the chart, you can just see how the draft capital is a big part of this. So he must have a lot of picks.
All right.
But all right, let's have a look at this team here. Rolling deep, meaning you can start up to 6 wide receivers in this league. At the quarterback position.
My gosh.
Yeah, wow. Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Dak Prescott. I mean, first of all, just drop all those quarterbacks. Get rid of them.
What are we doing with Browning?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Browning,
6,
Trask,
7.
Hayner, Toon, Dobbs, Rudolph, Badgett. At minimum, you don't need those guys.
Still, everyone that's not ranked, get them off your team. At the running back position, Trey Benson, Blake Corum, Isaiah Davis. So that's clearly your weakness.
Yeah.
At the wide receiver position, you can start up to 6 wide receivers. Puka, JSN, T, Garrett, Olave, I guess Christian Watson. That would be your starting 6, with Brock Bowers in the wings there. But you have 1, 2, 3, 4 picks in the first 6 round, or 4 picks in the first round. 1, 2, 3 picks in the second. You have a bunch of thirds. You already know what we're gonna do is tell you to package all those third rounders, get up into the seconds and you have your 226 first first as well.
Okay.
President Jefferson.
This is weird because as it's currently constructed, it's not a Thanos. But when you add Ashton Genty there, when you add Amarion Hampton there, when you add Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson, he could go with that 101, 102, 104, 106. He could go 4 running backs straight with this team. And with the strength of this class, assuming draft capital is there, he could instantly have 4 top 15 ranked running backs if those guys all actually go in the first 2 rounds.
I mean,
I can't give him Thanos yet, though.
No, we can't. We haven't given. What we can do is give him baby Thanos.
We can give him baby Thanos because
baby.
He has 1, 2, 3, 4 first-round picks in the top 6 of a very good class that we like. He has the 3 seconds, and then he also has 2 firsts next year as well. We don't even know what his 2027 picks look like. His 4th worst receiver is Garrett Wilson. He's got Brock Bowers. He's got Jaden Daniels. I guess you would need a more solidified 2 as well here. So we're going to call you baby Thanos, but we're going to go contender here. You were very close there. You were very close. But you are probably a Thanos in like 2 months from now when the draft is all done, or 1 month from now when you finish your rookie draft, right? Traxx says he traded Puka for the 106, 107, Wilson, and Bowers. Okay, wait. Okay, so you got Puka for the 106, 107. That's a good deal. Wilson and Bowers you got for JMO Kraft Stroud the 2 on the 212. That is like the cheapest Bowers I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Dak Olave in the first 2 firsts. You sent away McCarthy and Tracy. Holy hell. Well done. Yeah, great trades. All right. Well, yeah, this is definitely like, I would say a baby Thanos, but we can't give you the Thanos tag. You're a contender. And I think we're probably building through the draft with this team. Now, first thing I would say, which Badaki already mentioned, but I would trade a huge amount of these picks to get up. You're going to have a tough time rostering this many players, honestly. Like, whatever combination of 3rd round picks you need to give to kind of go up there and get the 204, you know? Yeah, anywhere from like the 202 to the 204. Maybe you need to add the 301 and remove some other picks. I mean, the 20, he's got the 205, 206. The 207 I would do, but you probably could remove like a couple of these 3rds to get there. You know, you can figure out what is or isn't possible, but you could also play this a different way. Say, hey, I'll give you the 205, the 206, the 301, the 306, the 307, and can I get up there to the 110, for example? You know, these are just ideas. You have plenty of picks to play around with. I mean, look, how big is this roster, though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. It's a big roster, so you could probably just take a shit ton of dart throws if you wanted, but you can make one of those trades where you tier up if you wanted.
I think with everything, all the players that we're telling him to drop, you'll still have enough players to roster, right? Like, you can still roster every one of these players potentially if you don't trade these picks away.
So you don't have to.
You technically don't
untouchables.
have to, no.
Daniels, Bowers, Puka, Genty. You got 4.
Yep.
Bowers in a 0.75 tight end premium is crazy. Okay, as far as holds,
I put Trey Benson, Blake Corum.
Yeah, I like Trey Benson. I like Blake Corum as holds. I think Olave is a strong hold too, based off his current price. But drops. How much time you got? Everyone I'm highlighting. I'm not even gonna say names, but everyone that I'm highlighting, you can drop, should you choose to. Oh shoot. All right. Any of these guys, they're all droppable. That's like 10 names almost. Your waiver wire, You have De'Ami Brown somehow. Your waiver wire somehow has a De'Ami Brown. I thought you'd have nobody. You could definitely pick up De'Ami, drop someone else. Overall team grade. I'm going to go A flat.
I put A flat. Okay.
Yeah.
I put A flat. Draft capital, I put A plus.
Yep.
And then that's all for admin.
All right. If we stick and pick here, we can obviously go Ashton Genty at the 101. In fact, I'd argue you definitely should. At the 102, yeah, you'll be able to kind of play mind. You'll kind of be able to play mind games with whoever has the 103, depending on how this draft goes.
That's what I was doing. I was looking for the 103, who is Deer Slayer. They have Kyler Murray, Bryce Young. They have Brees Hall. I mean, look, it's a team that could technically go another running back.
Running back, oddly enough, might be their least needed position, even though this roster is shit across
quarterback
the board.
Could be something here. So like at the 103, you tend to
Ward or
have
Tet, yeah.
They can go Ward or Tet, and you could potentially be ending up with Tet at the 104 if you really wanted to play something like this.
Yeah, but either way, you're gonna end up with.
Let me ask you this: if there's 3 running backs that goes in the first, do you take? No, you're still gonna take the running back over Tet.
Yeah,
because what he can do is that like
would shock me, but
he doesn't go Marion. He takes Tet to get the depth, and then he's still going to be guaranteed a first-round running back at the 104. Doesn't matter who that is.
With Benson being my RB1, I'd probably, and just purely based off value and the hit rate of a round 1 running back, I'd probably just go 3 running backs.
You go with 3 running backs. Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, but I mean, look, it's a good conversation to have. But yeah, pretty much across the board, you're going to get 4 great players if you stick and pick. Let's say you went Genty. Let's say Hampton goes round 1. Then McMillan goes off the board, and then you're thinking between, Henderson, Judkins, Johnson, Ward. That's pretty much going to be the potential outcome of what you do here, right? At the 205, we're kind of, just taking shots in some of these running backs that we like that got decent capital, some of the wide receivers we like, those Iowa State boys, the Jalen Royals of the world that I love. But beyond that, it's impossible to really predict what the rest of these picks are going to look like. The most likely outcome is most of them mean nothing. Maybe you draft one Bucky Irving this year and hit. It's an RJ Harvey or someone. But the most realistic outcome is those probably don't mean anything. Now, I don't want to tear down because, number one, you own most of the draft anyway. Number 2, you have enough depth everywhere else to really go hard on top quality players. But
I was thinking, I was just thinking maybe we get more depth with vets, hypothetically.
For which picks are you thinking about using?
I guess with the thirds, maybe the 205, 206.
Okay.
Right? Like, can we get the Mike Evans, the Chris Godwins, just the guy that gives you depth just in case one of your guys misses a couple games? Puka goes out 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Who are you gonna fill in there, right? Like,
yeah.
That's where my mind was going.
Totally.
I'm not sure where yours was
I would
going.
also just quickly say that, like, if you can lock up a name like Bucky Irving at the 106, I think you do it. I'm always going to have to throw my guy out there. I think if you can get, I'm doing this based off the market price. If you can get Devon Achane for the 104, I think you should do it. Like those 2 names. But outside of that, I don't think it makes sense to send those picks away. But yeah, let's explore that 205. Like Devontae Adams is always the first name that comes to mind to me. He's my favorite veteran purchase for contenders. He would be a great addition. I mean, you might be able to start him over like a Garrett Wilson Olave this year.
Yeah, genuinely.
Say again.
And you still got Garrett Wilson. No, I'm saying I was agreeing. It's like genuinely, and you still have Garrett Wilson on your bench waiting.
Yeah, that would be great for you. I'm gonna just quickly have a look here. I want to remove these picks. Okay, so. We talked about Devontae Adams. Tyreek Hill comes to mind. Chris Godwin.
Yep. I like all these. I mean, there's a lot of names.
I know some of them words.
Godwin. I know some of the words. I like the Shakiras of the worlds because I'm pretty high on Shakira. I guess you can take a shot on like the Jaden Reeds if you really wanted to, but that's probably more like 211 type vibe.
Yeah, Mike Evans.
Yeah, Mike Evans.
And then I'll just say, like, let's say someone's like, look, I'm willing to sell Adams, but I'm just not there yet. You could add any number of these third rounds, right? Like, give them the 305 and the 306 to make it happen, or give them just the 301 to make it happen. Like, you can afford with these type of deals. You don't need to roster 100 players, right?
No.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot. At running back, the 205s is an interesting range.
What's that? The Connors, the Alvins.
Connor, Alvin. I think most leagues are not going to sell Alvin for that. But what if we went like to 205, 30,
yeah,
5-6, like that for an Alvin. Yeah. Connor's probably right there at the 205 type of range.
You can do like,
and he already has Jones. Benson, so getting Connor makes a lot of sense.
That does make sense. You can do the Aaron Jones of the world.
Yeah, Najee Harris. Those type of ideas there. You could also try and get an ETN on the low, like send someone the 301 and the 306 and just like, you know what? I'm well aware that this could end up being a burger, but I'm wanting to see, like I'm willing to kind of play this out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, I think you're going to be in a great spot, man. I want to hear any thoughts you have, Traxx, but I think Badaki and I are on the same page. Use those top 6 on this class. Use the rest of it, as many different combinations as you want to fill out running back and wide receiver. You definitely don't need a quarterback 3. You've already got Dak there. That's perfect. You don't need a tight end. You've got Bowers. So really, it's just building up that running back room. But I would say there's literally no reason for a team like this not to go out and compete and win a championship this year.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think maybe the one thing we probably didn't hit on, I would say, is probably, let me just triple check who your tight end is. Like, okay, maybe one of those seconds, if you really wanted to, get the Arroyos.
Yeah.
Have him on your bench. Just wait and see what happens. But other than that, I think this is kind of perfect team, man.
Yeah, 100%.
But as we wait for you to put any last minute questions in the chat, you should be receiving your playbook within 72 hours on the Flock Fantasy Message System, customized to everything that we drew up here today. Thank you so much for the support there, Traxx. But this is a great team. Baby Thanos. I might put a little, if I can find maybe I'll get AI to make a baby Thanos.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can even just type in baby Thanos. Oh, this is some creepy stuff there. Yeah.
Yeah. Traxx says, I think you guys read my mind, which is good to hear. It sounds like we're on the same page. But yeah, that might end up being the last review for today then. We had someone else submit, but they submitted an offline review. That was Playmaker. So they submitted an offline one. And if you're watching this, Playmaker, let us know if you're here. If you wanted to upgrade to the live one, let us know. Otherwise, no problem. We can log off for the day as well and look at your offline review here soon. But that might be it for today, guys, which means the queue is completely clear for anybody who wants to submit for this upcoming week. Wyatt says, did you guys see my 3-way trade? I saw it briefly.
Where was this at? Can you read? Was this in the chat?
Where was it?
Kind of maybe just got lost.
Okay, here it is. Zach gets Hall, the 208. Gives Olave a 26 first. Badaki gets Gino, the 202, Keon Coleman. He gives JJ McCarthy in the 208. TD gets JJ Olave in a 26 first.
Badaki is the only one I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to do that. So I down tier at the quarterback position. I get a guy I don't like, and I get the 202.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think you'd be interested getting Gino, 202, and Coleman. You're not a Coleman guy, neither am I.
No.
Yeah,
I am not.
3-ways are hard, man. I'm fine with Hall, and I don't know if I'm fine with Hall in the 208 for Olave in the 26 first. I think this is a great deal for TD though, if it were to happen. Yeah. But he gets JJ McCarthy, Chris Olave in a first.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why it's so tough. It's so tough to do these. T-Law in the 203 for the 105 in Adams. That feels like the 105 in Adams wins that for sure. Yeah. I love it, Wyatt. I love it.
I love it, Wyatt. We appreciate you, man.
Honestly, we do it for a living, and three-way trades are very difficult to get on top of. So, Traxx says, I think I have a Thanos team, but I felt like if I submitted, I don't think there would be anything to talk about. Well, there was plenty to talk about.
There is plenty to talk about.
Plenty to talk about. I hope it was helpful, too. But, yeah, guys, that is it for today. We appreciate y'all big time. We will be live next week. And, yeah, can't wait to see y'all then. So enjoy the rest of your weekends, guys. Later.
Love.